So it's a new year, 2015, right? Yeah, last time I checked. Great, yeah. So and paradigm shift. You had a new sort of awakening. What prompted that?
Yeah. So this kind of brewed for us last year, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, and I would say in the middle to the end of 2014, we sat down and realized we have got to take control of what we're doing and go in a completely different direction. Instead of chasing the dream, let's make the dream ourselves and make it a reality. And so that was a big paradigmic shift for us.
Yeah, because I think like after Obsolete, it was kind of curious, like we had made that completely off the grid and without any support from sort of the mainstream system. But what happened, and it was an interesting thing, because it got into Sundance, and suddenly we got, you know, these, like, all these doors sort of opened, and we sort of settled into the conventional pattern, you know, like going to meetings and just doing things like, you know, like everything in the conventional sort of expected way of our industry, which was the opposite of how we had made Obsoletia. I mean, if we'd tried to make Obsoletia that way, we never would have made it. And so, you know, suddenly we were in that and we settled in, and, you know, now I was making my second film, and it was during that process that we just were like, you know, I had some frustrations making it, and I was like, I just wanted to make something again like Obsoletia, like, and I thought back to that experience, and I was like, damn, like we really figured something out with that, you know, and we did it kind of innocently, you know, like we didn't, you know, it wasn't strategic, it just like happened. But I went, the way that we did that is the clue for the future, and I thought I just want to get back to that. Like I want to make stuff, like just find a way to like enable ourselves to be empowered to make the films that we want to make and get them out there. And I realized for myself, and I mean we talked about this a lot, you know, we realized to make that happen and to sustain it, you know, does involve creating more community. You know, it's like, and I talked about this on the blog, I'm like, you know, definitely for this new model to exist, if you don't want to be part of the mainstream system, so you're getting like your money and your power from the people, the powers that already exist, and you have to wait for them to choose you in a sense to make your movie, and then you have to like jump through the hoops to make the movie right for them. You know, if you're going to try and do this in a completely other way where it's like a little punk rock, like we're going to do it ourselves, we're going to make our movie and then we're going to sell it, and, you know, then you need to like engage, and we need to like build community, and we need to support each other, you know. And for me, I had always been very reticent about being involved in any social media. I was just like, I'm not a social media person. And, you know, suddenly I was like, you know what? I'm changing the paradigm here. You know, I'm just like going to change a bunch of stuff and try like a new way of doing things. And I suddenly realized too, we had also been very close about, to some extent, how we had made Obsoletia. We'd helped a lot of people ourselves, you know, like following that, make their films. But, you know, I just suddenly realized I want to take it to a different level. Like, you know, I want to be really transparent about what I'm doing and how I've done it and help other people. I just think like this is one of the big things that I really realized, like I want to help other people make their films, you know, and give whatever knowledge I have truthfully to them. And I just feel there's so many lies in our industry, and that really disempowers filmmakers, because everything is like kind of in the shrouds of success, because everyone always wants to make everything look more successful than it actually was, you know. And I thought I just want to actually really be as honest as I can. We're planning to make a new film this year in 2015. We're still working on the script right now. It's going to be micro budget. I think the budget's going to be smaller than Obsoletia. Where it's shooting out in the desert. It's a cast of like 3, and you know, my intention with that is 100% to do, like, you know, just to follow through this vision, like what we're sharing and what we're teaching, like, and make it all transparent. You know, like every step of the way. Here's how we're doing it. You know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What were your hesitations with social media?
You know, I just grew up in a different, like, you know, I feel like I grew up before it became really the thing. And so my initial usage of Facebook, for instance, so I'm not a digital native, you know, I'm definitely a digital immigrant. And like Facebook, for instance, it seemed like great for you know, connecting with my family initially, because my family will live overseas, but then it started to get bigger and it was like more people. And I felt like I'm a very private person, you know? And so that felt challenging to me, and I couldn't really see, you know, it just seemed like, oh, this just seems like a big waste of time. I've got so much already things that I'm doing, and I don't really know what my voice is on these platforms either, and I just don't really get it, you know. It's just not my thing. And I've talked to a lot of filmmakers, you know, of sort of my age and level of experience, who feel the same way, who are still not engaging in it, who are still just like, it's just not for me, you know. And I think obviously younger filmmakers who are in their 20s, it's totally their language and it's totally natural to them and it's amazing. And, you know, I just realized for myself, though, and that's like that paradigm shift. Like, you know, always, you have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to change, you know. And what I've discovered, curiously, in the very short time that, for instance, I engaged in Twitter, and he'll tell you, I'm like, I love this. I can't believe I didn't do it before. This is so much fun. And I've, like, you know, met all these people and sort of, you know, like, really, I feel like connected with, you know, like my tribe, my people. I'm like, oh my God, they're here, you know, and I absolutely love it. And I love the communication and I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I can't believe I didn't get into it earlier, you know. So I just feel, for me, the paradigm shift is really going, I want to find a way, and I think a lot of filmmakers are feeling this too. I want to find a way to just like be able to make the films I want to make and make enough money from them that I can keep making them, you know? And it's not like nobody's going to get rich or anything. Or maybe you will. Maybe you will, you know, make one day that will just knock it out of the park and you will get rich from it. But that's not the aim. The aim is just to like create a sustainable life as an artist, you know? And I feel like there's a lot of filmmakers wanting to do that right now. And I feel like if we support each other, you know, if we work together as a community, we can do it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's really like where we are right now. Like that's 2015 to me. I'm just like community, you know? And it's not just about, it's certainly not just about my films. It's really like helping other people to make their films. You know, I'm like working with a couple people right now very closely on their projects. And I'm just like, I get so much out of it. I'm like, this is amazing, you know? And I think there's just masses of opportunities for filmmakers right now. But the way it will really work is if we support one another.